So, it's not just our Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, who's the only falling down drunk inside the White House. We always think nobody can be plagued with imposter syndrome more than our inadequate, self-loathing, white Christian nationalist, alcoholic defense chief, Pete Hegseth. Turns out the Trump White House is filled with a lot of half-men who drown self-loathing and self-doubt in alcohol. FBI Director Kash Patel, according to new reporting in The Atlantic magazine, Kash Patel is a serious drunk who disappears for long stretches on benders, then shows up to work late, only to rage at employees in his deliriums of paranoia. Sleep well, America. We're in good hands. We're in good hands. The Atlantic magazine out with this scathing profile of the odious Kash Patel, describing him as pretty much unhinged, paranoid, and drunk. As recently as April 10th, that would be, 9 days ago, Patel tried to log into his computer at the FBI. And suddenly he began to panic because his password didn't work. And a responsible FBI chief would look into why he can't log in. Instead, Kash Patel, because he was probably hungover, began screaming at the top of his lungs, cursing Trump, screaming, "I've been fired. That's why I can't get into my computer." This is the head of the FBI. Okay? Then, instead of calling in the IT guy and saying, "Why can't I log into my computer?" Kash Patel, he got on the phone and began calling all his political MAGA allies at think tanks and on Capitol Hill, accusing Trump of firing him. He said they fired Bondi, and now I'm getting fired. So Pam Bondi was fired on April 2nd, and there were rumors that Kash Patel was next. According to Atlantic magazine, this was April 10th, the phones on Capitol Hill, inside the White House, and at the FBI, and at right-wing think tanks were heating up with people wondering who the hell is in charge of the FBI. Kash Patel is freaking out, screaming he's been fired, raging, telling friends and allies, "I'm going to get even with the White House." And everyone momentarily believed Kash Patel had been fired and that Kash was going to go to the mattresses and tell the truth about Donald Trump, like we need to be told the truth about Donald Trump. What prompted this? He couldn't log in to his computer at the FBI. But according to Atlantic magazine, it turns out he hasn't been fired. He wasn't fired. There was just a little glitch. There was a little glitch with his computer. The FBI computers were getting, I guess, what amounted to a software update, and he couldn't log in. All he needed to do was call in the IT guy to explain that to him. But apparently, when you're drinking a lot and you're already paranoid and stupid, you rush to conclusions that are inaccurate, which makes you qualified to run the FBI. And we've seen him do that with Charlie Kirk's shooter. We've seen him make announcements that weren't true. According to The Atlantic, White House sources are telling The Atlantic Trump is, in fact, getting ready to fire Kash Patel. And FBI sources are also telling The Atlantic magazine that everyone at the FBI is expecting Patel to go, and everyone at the FBI can't wait for him to go. So the story about Patel has always been that he's paranoid and incompetent. Some of us weren't quite sure about how bad the drinking is. According to The Atlantic, the paranoia is really bad, and we knew about this. The Atlantic magazine didn't break this story. Kash Patel is forcing FBI agents to take lie detector tests in order to keep their job at the FBI. And they take lie detector tests in order to determine not just their loyalty to Donald Trump, but their loyalty to Kash Patel as well. Agents are strapped up to these lie detectors and are asked, have you ever in private said something disparaging about Kash Patel? Who hasn't said something disparaging? Who hasn't said something disparaging about their boss? So the only correct answer is yes, and that's going to get you fired. If you say no, well, lie detectors are inaccurate. They're not. Okay. This is the height of paranoia. This is Nazi shit. According to Atlantic magazine, it is official policy for FBI agents and certainly the FBI chief to refrain from drinking. Now, we all saw photographs of Kash Patel getting hammered with the Olympic hockey team, and Trump, according to the Atlantic magazine, was ready to fire Kash Patel right there because Trump doesn't drink and his older brother died from alcohol. So Trump is a teetotaler or whatever you call that. Insiders tell the Atlantic magazine that Patel's drinking has become a national security liability. Patel is spotted drunk in some elite Washington, D.C. clubs, as well as, I believe it's called the Poodle Lounge in Las Vegas. That he's in Las Vegas practically every weekend at the Poodle Lounge getting Trump-faced. According to The Atlantic, Patel was once so drunk, this is while he is FBI director, he was so drunk he slept through a wake-up call. Agents were forced to pound on his door, but he wouldn't respond, and a SWAT team had to be called in to crack open his door to make sure he was okay.